Wednesday
Okay, folks,
is
we're going to
losses.
call this meeting to order.
You sure can.
Is Sheila here? Oh,
I'm aware that she's not. I mean, she's not here now, obviously.
Typically would let me know if she's going to not be here.
okay.
Didn't let me know that, so she might just be running a couple minutes.
Looks like we're all here to roll call. All right. Anyone had a chance to make sure we look over our minutes from September?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All approved say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No. Okay, all right. Next is report on funding events.
Yes, we have several.
Cheryl.
Y'all doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
This was our 11th year holding this event.
All right.
You guys are sponsored this. So I'm Marty Davis. Talking about the Pepper's Pond Super Series event we held in May, June of this year. Our entries were down a little bit, but actually, I'll get to that, how the Conway kind of benefited anyway. We had 69 entries. Our hotel numbers and restaurant numbers are good. I have a guy take a poll and I get a bunch of information afterwards. The side note, the first thing is Conway A&P supports our Handler Appreciation Dinner that we have Friday night. And we've had trouble getting a good source. We always do a crawfish boil. And this year we used Bart likes from old Bart. Great crawfish, great price and all that. So that money came right back to Conway. The kind of the caveat is our event's down, but we started, there were 3 events in the country that did this. There was 30. So people have a lot bigger opportunities to qualify in that. There's another event in Morrilton. It was their second year. And last year they couldn't figure out why Morrilton couldn't figure out why their hotel numbers weren't up. Well, all those folks are staying in Conway because you stayed here at our event. So I know 60% of their people stayed in Conway in September. So that's up. But we appreciate y'all's support. And there's our number. Y'all got any questions? No? All right. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Doing it again?
We're doing it again. There are. The packets, everybody's got right there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm the program director for which does the Conway Art Walk. We are now in our 3rd year of bringing back this event and have seen amazing growth in numbers each time. As you can see right now, we have anywhere from 800 to 1,000 people showing up for our first Friday events downtown.
Thank you.
So we have 8 events throughout the year. We have started March and go through November, but we skipped May because of Toadsuck. It's just a little chaotic to do both events at the same time. So we're adding in November this year, which is November 1st. I hope you guys can come out and see. Like I said, we've been having amazing crowds. We're having anywhere from 40 to 50 local artists and musicians and performers getting involved. We've been increasing the number of organizations that we're partnering with to do programming in our Creative Cove area, which is all free performances and activities for young adults and kids. The statistics that we've been gathering, as you know, it's kind of hard to get exact numbers at an event like this because you have people coming from 4 different directions going in and out, and it's a lot of chaos. But we kind of take different data each month to make sure that we're getting as much as we can. And from the data we've pulled, we have on average 25% of our attendees are from outside of Conway. At one single event, we had people from over 44 different zip codes. That month, we only asked what their zip code was. And again, we had over 44 different zip codes during just one event. So that's really exciting. 79% of those that we survey say that they eat out before, during, or after Art Walk. And 61% say they are shopping downtown before, during, or after. And my goal working into this next year is to continue to work with the downtown businesses to get them even more involved, to see those numbers kind of go up as well. Like I said, we've just been having a really great show, a lot of great feedback, and hopefully going into next year, it will continue to grow. A couple of things we added this year. We added themes to each month, so it's not the exact same event every single month, and that allows us to incorporate During Movement Month, we brought out dancers from Ballet Arkansas. We had Sunshine Academy. We had yoga art. We had all different things for that one month. And so each month we're able to bring out different people. We had the Arkansas Renaissance Fair come out at one point to do some like mermaid and pirate storytelling. So we're getting a lot of different folks from around the area involved as well. We also added in food trucks this time. That we're seeing that is keeping people staying in the area longer. I know for me, when I would bring my 2 kids down to Art Walk, they get hungry. I don't want to stop and sit down for too long with them, but grabbing a bite to eat is a really great way for them to kind of stay downtown, and also involves more local businesses as well. So, do you have any questions?
It seemed like this last year was the busiest Art Walks in the last few years for us. We noticed.
Yeah.
We noticed guests having to drive around it, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
That means that you were packed, had a lot of big things going. You kind of see it down the back from our restaurant, see just how many people want to hear the music. So it seemed very encouraging.
Yes, great numbers. Any other questions? Okay, well, we really appreciate your funding. It really does make a huge difference for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Hey. I'll look
Sorry,
on
it's
it.
okay.
I'll look on it.
Here.
You know what? If y'all
Let's
would,
get
if y'all would put in an application to be on Family Feud, y'all could be the snob family.
I think that'd work. I need.
I'm for that.
I would love to be on that.
I think you should.
I wouldn't be worried about some of the questions. Guys, I'm Ed Link with Barham's Ozark Beef, but here I'm representing the Conway Farmers Market. So the farmers market goes from April until the end of September. So roughly 24, 25 Saturdays throughout the year. I mean, I know as a vendor, I can tell you I had a better year than I had last year, which was also a really good year. And so I think we're seeing some nice growth, and I'm probably not alone, saying that. I mean, you guys came from. Oh, this is Sean. Introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, my name's Sean Greer. I'll be taking over for Ed this next year. So both my wife Kelly and myself are now on the board of the farmers market. This was our first year down here, and just to speak to what he was saying, our absolute worst week down here was twice of what our best numbers ever were in Clinton. So this place is really happening, really doing well. We have a little bit better metrics because we run a bread company and we offer samples and whatnot. We did over 6,000 individually packaged samples this year from that time frame.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's great.
That's good. That's good stuff.
And some of the other good things that happened this year, we had more applicants than ever. Then we had more approved applicants than ever. So we do, there are times where we can't approve them because maybe we have multiple people in the same category. And so we don't want to flood it with, a particular category. So that was, we're very happy about that. Looking at the survey results, out of the people we surveyed, over about 2 Saturdays, we surveyed some people randomly. 40 of those were from Conway, and then another roughly 20 were from outside of Conway. Now, we did not have anybody say they had a hotel stay or restaurant that they ate at, but I do know we had people come in for graduations, holidays, weddings. So I know that was happening, but the people we surveyed those 2 days did not have any of those. One of the things we focused on this year were family activities. So we broadened our visitor booth and had arts and crafts activities, especially for kids. We had the deal where you can do the fishing game where you throw it over the wall and somebody flips on the prize. Kids went nuts. The bubble, the big bubble deals, the kids can make their own bubbles. Just little stuff like that. And it was creating a nice experience for the people who visited. And so I know we're going to build on that as a board and as a market. So when you look at the number of people in each party, the bulk of them were 2 or more. And there was a lot of families, a lot of kids running around and couples running around. One of the questions we asked, and I think we might have added this to the survey, was how did you hear about the market? Of those 7 said online. So I think 2 years ago we started we didn't have like a Google, you couldn't Google us. We didn't have a website, so there wasn't anything to look at if you did Google us. So we're starting to see a nice increase in activity on the website and just recognition online. Even though the market had been around for since the '60s, if you search for it, you wouldn't find it because there was no online footprint. So that's happened now. And with Sean's expertise, that's going to grow. Facebook was, we're very, very active on Facebook. I don't know if you follow us on Facebook, but we're trying to promote each and every vendor and do so in a way that's fun and inviting and trying to get people out to the market. A lot of people talk, family and friends were telling other people, hey, you need to go to the farmer's market. There's no better referral than that. But then 33 people drove by, and that's always been a big boost to attendance is being right there on Amity. So when people are driving by, we've had people pull over, not straight off the freeway, they'd go to the exit, but then they would get on the farmer's market, let's go. But that, people are driving through, going to Texas or going to Oklahoma, and they'll come stop at the farmer's market. So driving by is still a huge thing for us. And so some of the money we spent was to enhance that with the feather flags, and then when people show up, the banners and the sandwich board signs to create an inviting environment, but also recognize that people are supporting the market through their sponsorships and their grants. When was your first time to attend? This is a stat I really pay attention to. Of the people surveyed, 16 people said that was the first day they'd been to the market. 23 of those people said that was the first year they started attending our market, and then 22 had been attending for 2 years or more. And we got some people that have been out there for 20, 30 years that have shopped at farmers market, and it's always fun to see them. So that's kind of a rundown of the farmers market. Our board will take about a month or two off and then start preparing for next year, and we'll fire up probably mid-April again. I would expect strong numbers as usual. I don't see any slowing down of this farmers market. And then we've got Sean coming on board, who's done some pretty amazing things in his professional career. So I'll step aside from my role now because the beast's getting out of hand. I need to corral that and get focused on it. So anyway, any questions?
Glad it's doing well.
Yeah.
Glad that's doing
Yeah.
Having the local fire truck come out there and whatnot really got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see the kids getting excited about those kind of things. We got some good plans.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your support.
Thank y'all.
very much.
How are y'all today?
Good, how are you?
I'm Keith Henson. Y'all funded an event that we did October the 4th and 5th. It was a college event. I had done them before when I was a head coach at Arkansas State. By the way, I'm a head coach at CBC softball here in Conway. But I had done an event before, and I do travel ball tournaments here. And Derek had come to me because the last travel ball tournament, I average about 80 travel teams when we do them in Conway. And he said, hey, is there any chance you could pick up some more of these weekends that we're missing? So I said, yeah, but it probably needs to be a college tournament. So we went to a college tournament, is what I went to. And the very first time we had, I was shooting for 20 colleges, and I ended up with 18. So last weekend we had 18 colleges. We had 5 states represented. These are going to be a low estimate, to be honest with you, because not everybody came back to me. We had roughly about 60 hotel rooms, a little over 600 meals, and estimated somewhere around 1,500 people actually was at the park in the 2 days that we had there. So it's just a Friday and a Saturday deal. And I tried to schedule the tournaments where they were done, where they could go out to the restaurants and eat that evening, and then we started the next morning. So even it's probably a little bit more than that, because when they were there during the day, they actually had to have something catered in. Like actually for my team, I went to Chick-fil-A because it was right there next to the campus and all that. So I was real excited with the tournament. I was shooting for 20, had 20 at one time, but one of the things that happens in college is when a coach leaves the team and another one picks up, he may or may not keep his schedule. So the 2 we lost were new coaches was there, and he didn't understand his budget, so he didn't come. So, but anyway, that was the tournament that we just had. Any questions about that?
Pretty successful. A lot of colleges in there, 18 teams.
And one of the things too, and I know that because I've got some of my previous players that actually ended up staying in Conway after they graduated. Probably one of the most influential time to get a student or to get an individual is when they're in college. If they come to a city for whatever reason, they like the city, when it comes time and they graduate, they're looking for somewhere to go. And that was one of the good things that I think was good for Conway, is having that many college people in here, and even their parents, because a lot of times their parents would come as well. And also too, I did turn in 2 for next year. Do I need to talk about that, or they already got them?
They'll get them
Get 'em.
all.
Okay.
So-
Okay. I turned in 2 similar things for next year, so y'all should get those too. And if you got any questions about those, I'll be more than happy to answer those as well. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you very much.
And I appreciate y'all's funding too, by the way. Thank y'all.
I am ready. So we'll look at the Sage financials first. These are the GAAP-based financial statements of the commission. The balance sheet, $3,751,613 in the bank, which not too shabby. Turn the page. We have got total revenues for the month of $564,559, and we did, of course, we had expenses. All the regular expenses brought us down to a gross profit of $74,789. Then we had some advertising expenses, some professional fees, event incentives. Still had a net profit of $52,000. One more page over, you see this income statement compared to this same month last year income statement, and we are up from that about $30,000. And then if you look at the year to date for September compared to year to date September of 23, we've got a running year to date total that's above last year in revenue. So that's all positive. Behind this set of financial statements, you'll see a general ledger, which is going to give you details of everything that's on this balance sheet and income statement. Attached to this is check registers, bank reconciliations, everything that you might want to look at to analyze the financial statements on top of it.
Lisa, back real quickly. That's almost $250,000 ahead of last year to date. Am I reading that right?
You are reading that right, yes.
I like that.
Thank you. Any more questions on financial information?
If you want to look at the collection spreadsheet, it's the legal size. You can see on the first page, you can see that you see the breakdown between hotel and prepared food tax, and then how much is due to the city and how much is due to the A&P Commission. Page 2 is going a little bit further in actually subtracting out of that what has to come out of these two totals that we are giving to the city and to the A&P Commission. On the third page, we start seeing collections. And you see in September, at the top, we collected 550,554 compared to same time period in 23, 523,000. And if you look at the comparison to 22, 478,000. So we're increasing about $25,000 a year in what we're collecting. I'm sure that at some point in time this is going to turn around on us, but we like what we're seeing so far. So, turn.
Question for Melissa. It looks like the hotel number specifically is down quite a bit from last year, but pretty equal to 22. Do you remember something big last year in September?
We had more teams last year.
In September?
But I mean, not just Conway, but Little Rock's lower, Searcy's lower. Everybody's had a slower summer this summer.
And maybe last year was just extra high. It looks like it was for July, August, and September of last year. And the restaurants are making up the difference.
This is, yeah, page 3. If you look at page 4, you will see that the year-to-date collections for past due, and we are up from August to September in both hotel tax collections and prepared food tax collections for past due collections. And then compared to last year, we're not up to the level that we were last year, but last year there were probably a whole lot more past dues to collect than there are now, because I think we're doing a more thorough job of collecting our past dues. And we don't have our city people here today, do we? Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, the next page is collections excluding delinquents. And same thing, we see 24 compared to 23. Actually, both hotel and prepared food, well, actually, hotel is almost static, but down just a hair, and then prepared food tax, excluding delinquents, is up pretty significantly. You look at the last page, this is all the pay simple payments. And these are up from August to September, and also up from September of 24 to September of 23. And I think that's probably only going to grow because it's just the convenience of it and the fact that everyone uses plastic.
Go to the next to last page, Lisa. With a little luck, we might hit $6 million. It looks like this year, which would be a first. And that's 3/4 of a year. If we have a quarter like we had,
I mean, if
last year,
if we are anywhere close to the last few months, we will.
we'll go over $6 million.
So,
That's-
and for your hotels, you're entering into your very slow season.
Are you? Okay.
October is, but November and December are pretty slow. January and February.
Usually October is a really good month for restaurants. Every day is pretty packed.
November and December are good, bad, ugly.
November kind of sometimes drops just a little bit around Thanksgiving, picks back up. nothing slows down much after this point. Once you hit October.
Even like
That's the same with your business?
Follows a similar pattern.
Okay, good. That's good. Glad we got all these people represented in different industries that are able to tell us that. That's good.
It is helpful. It's helpful to know what's coming.
It absolutely
and how few rooms are going to be left. The last page in your folder is the delinquent list. And we've got quite a few people on here, and it's fair to note that, normally we would be looking at it on today to see if anything had come in through the weekend and including Monday. That's kind of a stretch to say people were still paying for the month of August so late in September that we would just now be seeing it. But of course, today was a holiday, so we couldn't pick up any payments today. So normally that's people that are even mailing them late that we can go ahead and put on there that they have sent this in. Even though it didn't come in when it was supposed to, we would report it as being paid. So we do have a lot here that are needing to be bothered. We need to be bothering these people. We have a motion to do that. Can we start at it?
Do we want to ask and just see what the deal is with collections? Do you mind?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Blue Barn, they have an FTA. They were supposed to, I was September 23rd, and they didn't appear. And then Charcuterie and More, their plea date is November 18th.
That was which one? Charcuterie?
Charcuterie.
And
Blue Barn has a FTA.
FTA. And charcuterie has a
Plea.
date set.
Date set for November 18th. It looks like
The only other one that's got multiples is Magic Food Bus. I mean, and when I say multiples, I'm talking 3. Now there are several with 2.
the Magic Food Bus has a final, and I want to say Bart's does too. I'm not positive of that one. I remember them discussing that one last week with them, but I know Magic Food Bus has a final.
Okay. Candlewood?
I don't know
Anything
anything
about
with
that?
Candlewood.
Okay.
She doesn't even have Candlewood from last meeting on it. So Candlewood is new.
Okay.
I'll check with her when she comes back in tomorrow.
Okay, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? And that could be part of it.
Maybe
New
so.
ownership could be part of it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
it.
Like we got a lot on the very first listing there. None for just a ton of money. One.
But Mike, I think first that you'll probably need to approve the financials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion made to do that?
I'll make a motion.
Got a second? Motion been made to make we accept the financials. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Looks like the ayes have it. So
We need a motion for the lates. Yeah. I'll make a motion that we send out the normal 30-day, 60-day, 90-day notifications on
thank you. Do we
I'll
have,
second it.
have a second on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All opposed, nay. That's passed.
So on the draft agenda that I sent you the other day, I had on today's agenda that we would review the chamber contract. But then as we looked closer at it, we realized that last year when we did that, you all approved it through 2025. So so there's no need to do it again this year. So
Don't be asking for a raise.
save us all some time. So it's been a busy month plus since we last met. As you all know, you paid for Ernst & Young to do a downtown economic development study, and so I attended that presentation on their findings. They discussed, a need for additional parking. I know Mike was there as well. They discussed a potential boutique hotel at some point, updating the Grand Theater, the need for some additional housing in downtown, discussed redevelopment of Markham Street and how that's a real growth opportunity for Conway and downtown especially, just since it's kind of the largest available unused space. So I'm sure if you all want a copy of that presentation, we could get that for you. I met with Arkansas Business Publishing Group and discussed the Little Rock Metro Guide, which is an ad that we have, or a publication that we've participated in for several years with an ad. Typically, we do a 2-page spread and partner with the chamber. They pay for half, the A&P pays for half, gives us a little more bang for our buck. So I agreed to do that for $3,400 and gave them some editorial ideas, things to focus on. Continuing to work with Dave Creek on monthly social media. That's going really well. I've been really pleased with the content they've been putting out. So I've approved October's posts. They're continuing to post those. I've already seen November's scheduled posts, and they'll continue to go out and film some content. They had an idea about some cool Christmas promotions, so I met with them and talked about that. Hopefully we'll be able to start that in the next few weeks because we'll start promoting that in November. I attended the Teams conference in Anaheim, California, met with sports events rights owners, people that are looking for host cities for their events. I was particularly interested in events that can take place at our new soccer facilities and the new community center. Have already had a post-event Zoom with a soccer organization that wants to come to Arkansas and do events in multiple cities. And it's kind of best case scenario because it doesn't really cost us anything. So I think that is going to work out. We just need to work with the city on that and their soccer director. Let's see. I feel like it's been a busy month. There has been a lot of behind the scenes work with funding request applications, answering questions. Tomorrow is the deadline to get those applications in. I think I told you all last month that typically there's a PDF posted on Visit Conway and people have to fill out the PDF. If they have an Adobe editor, then they can type right into it. But some people aren't able to do that. And so we get handwritten applications, and you've all seen them. They're, sometimes they're hard to read. So this year I worked with Dave Creek and asked them if they could create a fillable PDF, which proved to be more difficult than I anticipated, I guess. And so people can now fill out the application online. I get a digital copy of it. They get a digital copy of it. They're still required to print it out and bring me the 8 copies so that you all can have, your packets in hand. So anyway, those are due tomorrow, but when there's any change in technology to what people are used to, there have just been lots of questions and kinks to work out. And I thought I was creating less work, but that is still TBD. So I also met with a new graphic designer to discuss a sort of rebranding campaign. The print and digital ads that we've been using for a while, they just need to be updated. And, you know, we last year changed the website and the logo. And so this is just kind of a continuation of that, just updating the look of our ads that we pay for. So hopefully she will start with that and get me something back to review soon. We'll see. Yeah, I think those are the highlights, at least. That's not all, but those are the highlights. Anything that y'all have questions about?
Sounds like you're doing good, getting out of the state, getting other experiences, bringing things in. So real asset.
So as far as funding applications go, like I said, the deadline is tomorrow. If people give them, as long as I have them by Thursday, I'll still accept them. But after that point, I'll start, you know, reviewing them, putting them together in your packets, working on your spreadsheet that I'll put together so that you all can vote on them at your November meeting. So that'll be a pretty short timeline for me to review them all and get them to you all so that you have time to review them before the November meeting and you can vote on them at that point. So we'll all have quite a bit of work to do between now and November. Okay.
Good problem.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rachel. Thank you. Parks and Rec.
Good afternoon, everyone. Make this pretty short and sweet. As you guys know, the fall kind of dies down with us. We still had a pretty good September. We had 3 baseball tournaments that brought in 194 teams, and then 2 softball tournaments that brought in over 130 teams. So September was still pretty busy in the parks. October, we'll have 3 fast pitch tournaments throughout the month, including CBC's college tournament that you guys heard about a little while ago. And then 2 baseball tournaments, which we had Fall State this past weekend that had over 160 teams by itself. So the expo, we had the Conway Business Expo this past weekend. And then here in a couple of weeks, we'll have the gun show. Thank y'all.
Hey,
The city clerk's office, we issued 6 A&P permits since the last meeting. 1 mobile vendor application was submitted and an A&P permit issued. And then we had 2 reissues of A&P permits because of businesses that sold. Fresh Donuts has a new owner and Casey's on Hogan has a new owner. And then we also issued a new A&P permit for Portofino Italian restaurant, which is open and going strong on Hogan Lane. We had 2 short-term rentals that we issued A&P permits for. And there's 2 in the works. I'm just waiting on a couple of inspections to come in, and then we can issue those as well. So 6 in all for this month.
Garrett here today. Garrett here today. What harassing.
Any new business?
You walking home?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Any old business? We have a motion. Retire.
Make a motion to dismiss.
Second.
Motion made. Second. All in favor? Yay, yay. All right. Thank you, Mike. I'll be